funny situation. Also pretty sad because the dude got kidnapped. Anyway, Ransom is a white old dickhead who has a love-hate relationship with Mr. Tropdick, spends a lot of money, needs to depend on himself more. That's the Tropdick family. Wait, no, we missed one person. We got Mr. Tropdick's mom, Great Mama Tropdick. She's old as fuck, barely alive, blind as a bat, and reminds me a lot of that old rat lady from Hotel Transylvania. The one that goes... I didn't do that. Can't be the only one seeing this, right? Anyway, it's worth mentioning that Mr. Tropdick's a good guy, but all of his descendants are a super white, I'm better than you type of people, okay? So that's the family tree, memorize it, visualize it, shove it up your own ass, who cares? Let's go. More important characters, we got Marta, Mr. Tropdick's longtime nurse and best blood. He trusts her more than his family. Craig Ferguson, who's playing Matt LeBlanc, or James Bond, whatever. He's a super smart private detective. Then we got two cops, Bakey and Boyke. One of them is done with life, another one is a Tropdick super fan. Other than that, we got 4 important points of time in this movie. Tropdick's birthday, Tropdick's funeral after party, I don't know, but the time between that and the movie. On with the movie. 1 week after Tropdick's death. Hey, his name's Harlan. That's gonna make shit easier for me. Alright. We're at Mara's house and her sister's being super insensitive watching a murder show. So mom's like, shut that shit off, ho. Have some respect for your sister, man. She gets a call from the Tropdick house, goes over, Meg says hi, hits the jewel, and the cops start interrogating everybody inside the house to see if it was actually suicide or a murder. Bond's sitting in the back of the room on a piano, and after a while with each person he just taps the key as if to say, next! Asshole Mozart and Meg diss the Nazi kid but end up describing half the internet. The boy is literally a Nazi.
He's an alt-right troll dipshit.
Then Garbage asks,
who is that guy?
what do you mean who's that? It's 007, James Bond, shooter of guns, adjuster of cufflinks.
Here at the behest of a client.
And he's not a British person in this movie. He's an American southerner. Oh my lord. He tells them who he is, and this bitch is like...
I read a tweet about a New Yorker article about you. You're famous.
Please shut the fuck up. So they asked a bunch of questions about it the night before Harlan's death, which was his birthday, and they all lied through their teeth because Harlan found out about Mozart's affair and threatened to tell his daughter if he didn't tell him immediately, hence creating more tension. He also fired Dickles from his publishing company, Tension, and he cut off Garbage because he found out she was sucking the long dick off his bank account and siphoning 100k extra every year from him. Even more tension! But they all hate Ransom for being a douchebag, and so they agree on one thing, that he and Harlan had a big-ass fight in private, and then he stormed off, which is... So the cops take a break from questioning. Asshole Mozart finds a letter that he's going to send to his daughter, which turns out to be empty. Then he throws Harlan's baseball out the window. What, you're just going to leave the letter like that? Are you sure it's empty? I'll get rid of it and burn it if I were you. Also, what a weak-ass throw, you fucking pussy. You throw like a girl. What, you really have to wind up for that? Doesn't matter. Cops and Bond take a walk around the house and find Marta. Bond asks her a few questions to confirm that they were all lying, because he knows that she was tight with Harlan, and that a fun little quirk of hers is that she can't lie because whenever she does, she throws up. So Bond explains the real story to the cops, and they're just like, okay, sure thing, dog, maybe you're right, but these aren't strong motives. This is weak sauce. Garbage, she wouldn't do that. Have you seen her Instagram? She's an influencer. Shut the hell up, Boinky. All insta-cunts are fake assholes that would definitely kill if their precious lifestyle was threatened. You know why that is, cocksucker? Because this is America. Home of I'll suck your dick for a Klondike bar. Land of I'll kill you for a bag of Cheetos. Weak sauce my ass. All these motives are completely plausible. Anyway, Bond tells the cops that he does not know who hired him for this job, which is fucking weird. Next I question Martin. What follows is a big-ass back-in-time flashback from her last moments with Harlan, where they joked around a bit, played a game of racist M&Ms, gave him his medication, and she went, hey, you want to do some drugs? And he went, ah, yeah, yo. So she prepares the morphine and finds out that she actually already gave him a 100 milligram lethal dose of morphine instead of the actual medication. And he's gonna die in 10 minutes if she doesn't give him an emergency shot of noxalalaline, okay? Which is like an antidote for this situation. She begins to scramble for it, and just so you know how chill this motherfucker is, dude's literally writing this shit down because it's a cool way to kill someone.
No.
Anyway, sadly, she can't fight the antidote, so freak out level increases. And she goes
Freak out level
when he
increases.
remembers that her mama is an illegal immigrant, so he's like, no, and stops the phone call. If they find out you kill me, your mama gonna get deported and your family gonna be fucked. So he tells her to leave in a specific way and do all these specific things, then come back another specific way and do some more specific things and leave in another specific way to eliminate herself as a suspect. And when questioned by the police, not to lie, but to tell fragments of the truth in this specific order, so she isn't technically lying, which is a pro-lying tip, by the way. Then after she leaves, he game ends himself, which is sad as balls. Back to the current time. She uses the pro-lying tip on the cops and goes to the bathroom to throw up anyway. What a fucking noob. Then we get a mix of cutting back to the birthday and fast forwarding to the funeral after party, where Bond is sitting ominously in the shadows and waiting for Marta, and he tells her that he wants her to be his confidant, his partner in this case, because she knows the place and the family well, and
I trust your kind heart.
also she throws up whenever she lies, so you know, that's a bonus. She goes home and we get a flashback of when Harlan committed seppuku, and we zoom in on a little specklet of blood on her shoe. Okay, so I just want to draw your attention to this shot after he killed himself, and this shot after they cleaned up all the place and took it for evidence or whatever. And we're gonna play a little game of spot the difference to see what's missing. I'm just gonna give you a minute right here. Time's up. What's that? Not enough time. Don't care. It sounds like a you problem, bitch. But don't worry, I'm still gonna show you. Zoom in and enhance. Keep going. Bring it in. Yeah, you get it? You see it now? That's right. The chest. Why is it gone? Is it a suspect? Where is it now? Is it on its way to Mexico? All these questions are completely unimportant. This joke sucks. the bloody rug and sofa, which has obviously been removed because evidence or cleaning or whatever, okay? Now, I've never slit my own throat before, but I would imagine that blood would splatter pretty far. However, the blood splatter stops here. The rest of the trajectory towards her foot is clearly clean, or else they would have taken it away for cleaning or evidence, as I said. So how the fuck is there a drop of blood on her shoe and nowhere else in the room, huh? Listen, I'm not saying that a rogue droplet of blood making the perilous journey across the room onto her foot is impossible, just highly unlikely, okay? Next day comes cops and Bond take Marta with them to look for clues and evidence, which she keeps throwing as they go along. Like this very
modern technology.
Security tape that she races with a magnet. Old footsteps of new ones. Bond gets startled by Nana Topdick. Dick had ransom arrives for the reading of the will, which is today, and everybody's mad at him for not coming to the funeral, and they find out that Harlan has cut him from the will. So he tells them all to eat shit, eat shit, eat shit. I'm not joking. This is not me making a shitty voice something. He literally told them all to eat shit. Bond finds a piece of wood that Marta broke while climbing the side of the house and doing all the specific stuff Harlan told her to do. He finds a secret window she climbed through, and then the will reading starts, and they find out that ransom is not the only one that has been cut out of the will. Everybody has been cut out, and Harlan left everything to Marta. And they're just like, no, but our wealth. So Marta tries to leave while the family swarms her, and fucking alt-right troll is live streaming it. God damn it. Content is content. Anyway, her car won't start, so Ransom rolls up in his bimmer and saves her from this mini-mob. Then feeds her beans and tells her that he knows that his grandpa did not kill himself, and that he also knows that she throws up whenever she lies, and he demands the truth. So she spills the beans. Get it? Cause the beans, and she picks whenever she does. No, honestly, it's a huge missed opportunity that Ransom didn't say that. It would have fit perfectly. Meanwhile, the Topdick family exhausts all possible ways to fix this inheritance problem, finally letting this lawyer dude go. Like, thank fuck, this family sucks. Then they force Meg to call Mara and give her a very shitty phone call, and Ransom goes, fuck my family, I'm gonna help you get away with this, and in exchange, you're gonna give me my cut of the wheel. Next day comes and the news got a hold of the story, so they show up to Mara's house, and to avoid them, she tries to slip out the back, but Nicholas is there and he threatens to expose her mom if she doesn't give back the inheritance. So she goes back inside, finds a blank envelope that has a paper inside that says, I know what you did, ho. So she goes over to Ransom, who tells her that this is a toxicology report, and she's like,
how do you know all this stuff?
Question is, how do you not know this stuff? You're a fucking nurse. Whatever. He also tells her this means that someone's trying to blackmail her and they need to go to the toxicology report place to destroy the evidence. So they go to do that, but surprise! The cops are there with Bond. And he goes, do we know who did it? No, the camera's burnt down. Binky, you're a pretty fucking stupid cop, because unless the surveillance room or whatever the hell these cameras say the recording is onto got fired Bukkake too, that doesn't mean that the recordings are destroyed just because the cameras are burnt down. Anyway, Mara gets an anonymous email with a meeting location and time of 10 a.m. when now it's 9:30 a.m. so she has to get there pronto. The cops see her, she slams the car into gear and drives off. The police go after her and we have this car chase on a road with 0 cars on it, and they're like,
Are you flooring it?
I'm literally flooring it.
the car won't go any faster because you put it in low. So no matter how hard you stomp on the gas pedal, it won't shift into high gears. Put it in drive, bitch. Move the stick to the letter D on the pedal. Your engine's gonna blow the fuck up. Ugh, whatever. She does some lunatic driving which is simultaneously better and worse than the cops driving. So they somehow have both super fast cat-like reflexes and the hand-eye coordination of a fucking ceiling fan. Cool. She drives down a couple of alleys and then stops to have a conversation with Ransom thinking she has evaded the fuzz, but she didn't. Woman, this isn't Grand Theft Auto where you lose a 5-star wanted rating by crouching behind a dumpster for 30 seconds. Anyway, the cops get to them and Binky's like,
that was the dumbest car chase of all time.
my man, you see that dude that tried to lose the cops on a fucking scooter? What about the world's slowest car chase? Well, not much dumber than this one. Doesn't matter. They arrest Ransom because Bond talked to Great Nana Topdick and she told him that she saw Ransom come back in the middle of the night when she actually saw Marta come back in the middle of the night. And Bond's like, he forced you to drive away once you saw me, right? Uh-huh. Yeah, totally. He gets in the car and tells her to drive to the police station, and either he has no sense of smell or that vomit is odorless because he can't smell the vomit. They drive off and he talks about donuts and Slinkies. On the way, she asks if she can stop by somewhere and pick something up, and he's like, yeah, sure. So she stops by Neil Salon and goes in and walks out the back and then walks in the back of the actual meeting place in the anonymous email. Is that a thing? Like, can you just walk into any shop and walk out the back like that without anybody batting an eye? Can I just do that? Or maybe she knows the place. Doesn't matter. Inside, she finds Fran, the housekeeper, overdosed on morphine. So she calls an ambulance, and at the hospital, she spills the beans again to Bond. And she says that she can't take it anymore, and she's just gonna tell the family what happened, and she's gonna give back the inheritance money, and it'll get fucked by a long dick of the law. So they get back to the Topdick house, find a copy of the toxicology report in Fran's marijuana stash, and she goes up with the family to spill the beans for the 3rd time. When Bond reads the toxicology report, he's like, oh, y'all can slob on my fucking knob. She ain't giving back shit. Great Nana giggles.
I didn't do that.
Bond takes her into the room with the Game of Thrones stare, then whispers some shit into Boyke's ear, which we can't hear, but don't worry, I know what he said. Keep the family out of here, but bring in Ransom, okay? Also, can't wait for tonight. Boyke brings in Ransom, and what follows is a bunch of plot twisty explanation and exposition, which is gonna make this super long and shitty explanation even longer. But basically, Ransom knew about the inheritance shit early, came back in the middle of the night the same way Mara did, switched the meds, Nana saw him leave, and that means that Mara accidentally switched the meds back and gave him the correct stuff, so homie died from nothing. Hashtag depresso F. LeMayo. maze. Ransom missed his funeral to come back and fuck with the evidence. Fran saw him, got the blood work, and decided to take him on alone. He tried to kill her, then found out that Marta's innocent and tried to frame her, but failed to complete his plan when he got arrested. Dope shit. Marta gets a call from the hospital. The doctor telling her that Fran's alive. Ransom confesses that he tried to kill Fran and vows to fuck Marta's life up. Then she throws up in his face like, "Psych, bitch, I lied. Fran's dead and you just confessed to her murder, motherfucker. You're going to jail for life." Just imagine the doctor on the other side of the phone call like...
Yes?
Yeah, Marta. I'm sorry to tell you. Sadly, Fran has passed away.
Doctor, that's great news.
Great news, the fuck?
We'll be there soon. Thank you.
Do you understand what passed away means?
She's okay.
After that embarrassment, Ransom takes a knife from
Espresso,
the chair, lunges at
espresso.
Marta, tries to stab her, but it turns out to be a fake stage prop dummy knife. And why does it take you guys so long to get him off of her? Last time,
Espresso,
whatever,
suck my dick.
Scrap. Linda finds out that her husband is a cheating slut. Told you should have fucking burned that thing.
Just please tell me.
Cousins from her new house drinking from Harlan's old boomer mug. This movie gets 58 plot twists out of 12 Zoom dogs.
That's fuck, that's wank, that's actually wank.
Okay, this movie is nearly 3 hours long, which is going to make keeping this long-ass video short incredibly hard. Especially because I have this thing in the top left corner, because I predicted a lot of things in this movie too. Alright, let's go, baby. It Chapter 2, and the events of this movie take place
Tell me,
27 years
please.
after the first one, and all the
Please.
kids are grown up now. Billy is a famous writer
Just
that's
tell
this
me.
actor bitch who sometimes doesn't believe in his writing. Germ Boy, or Eddie, is now a risk analysis dude, and he's married to this fat, overprotective, naggy bitch. Glasses, aka Richie, is now a big shot comedian. Fat Kid, or Ben, is now no longer a fat kid. He instead is hot and ripped, and apparently very rich. Stanley is, yeah, I don't know, he's just Stanley, but grown up, still a pussy, whatever. The homeschool kid, Mike, still lives in Derry in its library, and he's possibly slightly a bit local or paranoid. And Beverly, I got no clue what's going on in her life except for that she's married to this asshole who's very similar to her father. And apparently anybody who got married in this movie got married to a person that's very similar to their parents.
Okay, I love you, Mommy.
I don't know why the movie does this. Maybe it's to point out that nothing ever changed because they never really killed it properly, or that they never really grew up, or maybe they're just saying in general that you always marry your parents and nothing ever changes in life. I don't know why I'm reading into this so much. It's not a fucking Shakespearean novel. Who cares? No time. Moving on. The movie starts out with this shot, and I can already tell from this shot alone, and don't ask me how I can do this, that this movie's gonna have some serious homosexual themes / vibes and characters to it. And sure enough, we got two gay dudes being gay in Derry. And Derry keeps up with its theme of having very violent bullies, and some bullies show up and they beat the shit out of the two gay dudes for being gay, but especially this guy, and then they throw him into the fucking river, and then Pennywise shows up and eats him. Then the news breaks out that there's a dismembered body in the river, which confuses the fuck out of me because I thought he could eat them and swallow them whole if he so pleases. Why the fuck is there any trace of this body left? I mean, I know it's to draw Mike over so he can find out that Pennywise is alive and he can bring all the gang back so he can eat them, but still. Anyway, as I said, Mike went over there and he found out that it was Pennywise, so he proceeds to call all the police back because they made a promise that if it ever comes back, they're gonna come back too and they're gonna kill it properly. And upon calling them, they all freak out in their own little way and Stanley literally fucking kills himself. Wait a minute, where are the scars on his face? Where are the scars from the bite marks from the last movie? They should have scarred, damn it. So this is about the time where we find out
Wait, so if I get...
is alive. He got washed away in the sewers and flushed out along with a bunch of other half-eaten corpses, and I must say that half-eaten is a very generous thing to say for me because look at the shit. He barely nibbled on them. He sucks at eating. What the hell? Also, this motherfucker got thrown down a very fucking narrow well and it's fairly deep, I suppose, and he didn't hit his head on anything. He didn't drown and he survived. Doesn't matter. After he got flushed out the fucking sewers, he walked to his home, at which he was promptly arrested for killing his father, and he was thrown in the loony bin for 27 years till now, where Pennywise shows him a red balloon outside his loony bin, signaling that he's once again recruiting him to kill people. Then, after he gets dragged back to his room, he sees the red balloon squished under his bed, and I bet you that balloon's gonna pop, revealing some spooky shit behind it, and it does, and that spooky scary shit is his old pyromaniac friend, and that friend gives him his old knife. Now, cut back to the main gang, and they're in a Chinese restaurant, and they're bonding and shit, and it's mentioned by Mike that the further away you get from this town, the hazier memories of this place get, and once you come back, everything starts getting clearer and clearer, and you start remembering more and more. My question here is, how the fuck does Mike know about this memory loss shit? He barely ever left town, but he does mention that he read a lot of books, so any bullshit Mike spews out from now on, I'm just gonna attribute to the fact that he read all the books. So after they all realize / remember why they're here, because Pennywise isn't dead, they have to kill him, they'll have a little freak out, and 100% those fortune cookies are gonna have some creepy shit in them. And what do you know, they do, because all their fortune cookies together spell out, guess Stanley couldn't cut it. Then some freaky shit happens with the rest of the fortune cookies.
What the fuck is that, man?
Exactly. What the fuck is that? So they all leave the restaurant and they call Stanley's wife and they find out that he committed Sudoku, and then they all collectively decide to get the fuck out of there, but Mike stops Bill to convince him that he has a way to kill it. And then we cut to it devouring a little girl. And I could have totally left this part out because it's completely unimportant to the story and helps it in no way, shape, or form, but I really wanted to comment on this dumbass hoe of a mother that didn't notice her child leaving her side. Fucking bland bitch. Now cut back to Mike and Bill, and Mike is like, yo dude, I did all the drugs, I read all the books, I saw the Native American dudes, and they showed me how to kill it, and they showed me how it started, and they showed me everything, just let me show you. Then he drugs Bill with the same drugs that the Native American chakra dudes, that's a name chakra, gave him so he can visualize the shit they explained to him. Now, I'm gonna try and explain the shit to you, which is a momentous task, because I have no idea what the fuck I just saw. So 3 big lights come from sky long time ago. 3 big lights turn into creature. Creature eat people, and that's what I got, really. But that's not important. What is important is the ritual of Chud, which is the ritual they're going to use to defeat Pennywise. And to perform said ritual of Chud, they must all get their artifacts. What are their artifacts? Their artifacts are the things they were attached to the most the time they first defeated Pennywise. They must go to the 3 dead lights, the 3 big lights that came from the sky, they're called the dead lights. They put the box down, they put the shit in the box, they burn the shit in the box, then they chant some shit, and then the lights go into the box, and they close the box, and then supposedly they have defeated Pennywise. At least that's how the chakra people explained it to Mike. So Mike and Bill go back to the gang, and Bill explains to the gang that what he saw was real and it's possible and they can kill it. So they're just like, hey, why don't we wait this cycle out until he goes back to sleep, and then we wait another 27 years and just rinse and repeat. What's the problem? Turns out they can't do that because Beverly dreamt of Stanley dying the way he did, and she also dreamt of them all dying before. And if they do try and keep postponing this, they will not even last another 20 years. And she's the only one dreaming of this stuff because she's the only one that saw the deadlights when they were kids. So they go over to an underground clubhouse that Ben built in the woods when they were kids, and they go get Stanley's artifact, which is a shower cap, because he didn't want them to get shit in their hair when they were sitting down there. Then they all split up to get their own artifacts, and Beverly goes to her old home and takes the poem that Ben wrote for her when they were kids out of a secret hole in the wall, and that is her artifact. And then she gets attacked by Pennywise in the form of this titty-swinging grandma, but she escapes. Then Richie goes to an old abandoned arcade, and he gets his artifact, which is an old arcade coin slot machine thing, and then he has flashbacks from when he was a kid and he was playing there. And wait a minute.
You're fucking good. Hey! How about we go again?
Is the movie hinting that Richie's gay?
You assholes didn't tell me your town is full of little fairies.
Oh my god, it is. I'm gonna give myself another